So now it's time to learn about few advanced commands. So one is basically git checkout dash. So for that, let's create a new branch. Git checkout dash b, and the name of the branch, I'll say new branch again. Okay, so I'm currently in the new branch. So now let's say I want to check out to the main branch again, to the previous branch. Let's say I came from the main branch to this new branch. I want to check out back to that particular previous branch, which is main branch. So I can say git checkout dash. So you can see we have now switched to our branch main. So let's run that again. So I'll go back to our new branch. Simple, right? Okay. So let's learn about the next command. So we have this git config. So what is this git config? It will help us configure the name, email, etc. Okay. If I say git config, so you can see we can have the configuration in 3 locations. One can be in a global location, one can be in the system location, and one can be in the local location. Okay. Or also we can have a configuration based on the work tree. So if you remember in the previous slide or in the previous example, we go to this git folder. Let me do ls. You can see we have the config here, right? So let's check what exactly we have in this config. Cat config. So you see we have here the core. All this we really don't have to bother about it. We have this user here. So when I say email equal to this email, so that means basically this particular email will be added in our commit message. And we have this remote origin. So when we say origin, basically this is the URL which we have added, and it says the URL is this, right? So whenever I say git pull or push, then it will go and pull or push to this particular repository using this origin and so on. And if you want to list all the config of this particular git folder, then you can say git config dash local. So you can say git config dash local, and you can say user. Okay, so you can see we have the config as in the email. So when I say git config dash local user.email, so I get the email which was added in the config of this particular local. So I have different configuration in my global settings, which I cannot show you right now because I have to mess it up again. So this is exactly what we are learning about, right? Or if I don't pass this local, okay, and let me try to grab the user.name. Okay, so you should get the name from my global config, which is basically Pratap Sharma, right? But if I say dash local, I don't have the name set up in my local config, so it should basically empty. We don't have anything in our local configuration, right? And then we have this git reset, which is used to undo any commits or file, etc. Right? So let's pull the latest change from our remote. Okay, so if I say git log, so basically we have these 3 commits, right? I want to go back to this particular commit, right? So how can I say that? I can say git reset head. Head means the tip of the commit, and I can go back by 1. And if I enter, it says on stage changes after reset add.txt. So if I say git status, and if I check my git log again, you see we have only 2 commits. So if you want to see the difference in this file, so you can say git diff. So this will give the difference of the changes in our file. So it says that I have updated. So we added this message from our GitHub, and this is not added in our branch now. So let's add that. Git add git commit -m some message. I can say git push. So now the problem is if I say git log, this has changed now, right? Because earlier, if you see the commits, so to do the commits, you can go to this commits. We have 3 commits, right? We have updated at txt, but we don't have that updated at txt in this anymore. So now the local repository and the remote repository is diverged. It's different now. So for that, if I want to push, I can say -f. So when I say -f, it basically means by please forcefully push this. If I go and refresh the commits now, so update a.txt commit is no more added here. Okay,